Okay, so I've been requested to react to Dugoat's reaction to my top 10 meta tier list during this Legends Festival Part 1. And, you know, I think he had a lot to say because my video is only 17 minutes long and his is 40 minutes. So, you know, God knows I'm not going to watch the whole thing here. I'll be trying to skip as much as possible. But he said, this ain't it, Chief. You know, maybe he just theatrics or like baits. I don't think the tier list should be far off from like interchangeable opinions and stuff like that. So I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of nitpicking. It's opinions at the end of the day. There's nothing really finite or like a correct placement. There are just ranges. So I know Dugoat really does love to have that like exact his opinion correctness. So it's always funny to see him, you know, excited about dropping these reactionary videos where he believes like there is no other correct opinions, right? This is my boy at the end of the day. So I'm just going to react to his opinions on top of my opinions. And that's pretty much it.
Reacting to Vergil, my buddy, my pal.
My buddy, my pal. Let's go.
Here. And I've seen it. I haven't seen an explanation. I've seen it. I don't remember everything, but it's interesting. Damage is king is the title. I think that kind of makes you assume who's number one. My top 10 best units for ML Legends.
Yes, my GOAT Super Gogeta just mugs everybody in the game right now.
I'm reacting to this because I know there's some takes that I know I don't agree with. And again, everyone can have their opinion.
Exactly. Exactly. Everyone at the end of the day is valid to have their opinion. And that's why these videos, whatever people want to believe, right? It's just who do you validate in terms of agreeing or disagreeing with them. You should probably also have your own opinions and not downloading people's opinions. Like don't use our tier list to validate or make opinions, but use it to maybe validate, oh, like this is kind of around what they believe as well. But I do think a lot of placements on tier lists are just not concrete. You know, even in the top realm of where you can make arguments, the lower you go, that it just gets even wider, the gap for arguments for characters. So not really much finite. So for this character, if I had him and really disgusting options, I think Android 13 is the best valued character in the game. Like I just said right now. So let's see. Around him, his support is just like immense.
That phrasing is weird to me. I heard that because I watched like literally up to here, maybe 2 minutes into the video. They revolve around him. I get like you want to run units around him, but revolving around unit kind of means you're trying to deal with the character usually. You know, the game. You
are trying to deal with Android 13.
The game revolved around Blue Beast. It wasn't revolving around Red Panda or Puddle. The game revolved around Blue Kaioken and Goku, not Vados, who was supporting him.
So these are all times where there was one big meta damage dealer or like one focus carry unit in the game right now, where there's a multitude currently of main top. We got CMZ, we got MZ, we got Super Gogeta, we got UV4, we got Goku, we got Janemba, we got you name it. There's a ton of characters where Android 13 makes all those characters the best on their best teams. There's no setup that doesn't have Android 13 that is arguable best team in the game, basically. So yes, all the characters do revolve around Android 13.
I think revolving around is more so he revolves around his allies, and then the person that's revolving around the game right now, whether it be CMZ or MZ, those are the main two ops that people would have because they were the pre-festival god tiers. Now they're still up there, but maybe they're hurt a little bit. I think actually Red MZ is the one you're kind of looking at here, and you know,
no, definitely not Red MZ. I don't think the game revolves around Red MZ. Like he's not on every single team. Android 13 is on pretty much every single team though.
Maybe I am nitpicking, but I think that phrasing is just, I don't know if it's incorrect. It's backwards. He's using it backwards here.
Android 13 is a main core on every single roster. He's a number one option pick. He's right there at the top of the game. So
they're not necessarily needing him, but they prefer him. They don't need
him, but they are the best with him. Not prefer him. We're talking about the best teams in the game, the best list, you know, the best meta situations, and every single one of them includes Android 13. So it's not a preference, it's the best options.
Unit needs him besides Janemba because he's very
correct. I will say that Janemba does rely on Android 13. So
I don't think so. If he is,
I think he is with Android 13 top 5 talk. We're talking about a meta tier list here, so I think he's definitely in the talks for the top 5 for sure.
You know, let's discuss, I guess, because
I knew this before even owning the character, which is not ideally great to do. This is why a lot of opinions will differ based off of experiences and, you know, where you play in PvP. This goes for like a plenty of viewers that just experience bad experiences with certain characters or certain star dependent characters as well. So if like Metal Cooler, for instance, I know a lot of people don't really understand the Metal Cooler respect right now, or just like in general. He's just one of those units where if you have him at a really low star range, or, you know, you're facing bad Metal Coolers, he's not going to look good because he's one of those characters you need to attend to. You need to have stars on. You need to have a build kind of focused around him as well for him to perform the way he does. And he just has too much going on in this meta to be disrespected. So I was just like off topic tangent right there.
Zenkai Cooler there, bro. Vibing.
Zenkai Cooler is still holding on though. Can't even lie. You know,
I actually said his slot's still the best team in the game. I don't think it's changed. I've used it.
So he's talking about PO, best team in the game. It's funny because I don't think he's wrong. I think it's still one of the best trios in the game. So best team all in all. He might actually be onto that. This is everybody. If you're running the top PvPs, that was easily the best team. I know the ins and outs of that lineup right there, but I still think the duo of Android 13 and Super Gogeta are currently superior to that team. You know, whatever third you can make arguable better. If we have like a duo, it doesn't really matter what third you have, whether it's MZ, CMZ, Metal Cooler, Namegoku. They're just, what did I say here? Flatline. He's got like so I'm comparing Final or Full Power Frieza, which we know is like an insane individual character, and we have Metal Cooler, who's just gained this resurgence, because right now this is the best he's ever been. I don't think resurgence is correct about now. We're resurging back into the top 10, and he's even higher than what he was when he was on his initial release, right? We have a crazy top 1 damage dealer character, so we have a unit that actually walls him off. So not as great individually, I will say. He looks like he's about to, like, especially since his buffs, he holds gotta hear this one. More value than Full Power Frieza. And if you don't understand, hold on. I'm holding on. Him in a little while. I'm going to be placing him in my top 10 list. I believe Metal Cooler is a better unit than Full Power Frieza. So he absolutely is currently.
The unit that just dies. Just dies. And Super Gogeta, by the way, could victimize him because Gogeta, green card, we're neutral, we're going crazy.
That is true.
The green when he does fuse anyways.
Do be going crazy.
Feels like when he is.
That is the best unit things.
As Gogeta. That guy could murder Cooler.
That unit's murdering everyone. If there's any character that can wall off Gogeta, it is Cooler.
The damage guard helped him a little bit. But
will wall off Gogeta.
That probably made him worse. I heard Goresh say this, which I actually agree with, which I very minuscule agree with Goresh. Bit over slandered. Yeah, I'm not a Metal Cooler fan. It's just I just always felt there was just 1% more levity you could give him. But he said this probably made him worse, and that's probably true because you're just keeping this guy alive while he's doing minuscule disrupt and 0 damage, and it's just like all he's doing.
He has his role, correct. So this guy plays a defensive wall role. You have the unit on your team that's supportive. So Android 13, other utilities, another life, by the way. And then you have that one character that absolutely sweeps the floor with every other character, you know, which is Super Gogeta. So this is a, you know, a team preference style. It's, you know, something that does exist and it is extremely effective from my own experience. Yeah, I do think that's makes Metal Cooler pretty good.
Stalling timers so you keep losing. He does not have a disrupt to stop anything. Obviously, I disagree that he's top 10 because he's saying he's top 10 or at least above Frieza. Regardless of what happens to or against Frieza, which, by the way, this update literally did nothing. You could even argue CMZ got hurt because, you know, here's Janemba. I don't agree, but here's Janemba and here's Gogeta.
Yellow drop, so purple.
CMZ must be hurt. You know, Gogeta could rush CMZ.
Metal, definitely. I would look into building Metal Cooler as optimal as possible for full situations because he is a max performative character for me right now personally, whether it's in the defense avenue or even offense now. So like, you know, if you're having the Zenkai buffers on him, maybe double defense, have an offensive pure on that setup as well, and he's able to actually pick up, especially with Android 13 support. So another character that's not only dependent on Android 13 specifically, but on stars. So if you have a low star, if you are experiencing, you know, shitty Metal Coolers in the meta, it's very, you know, understandable as well. But so mine could never personally.
Up, though?
No, I don't think Frieza has any teams to kind of validate him much higher. If you want to like argue the top, like back end 10, I think it's completely fine. You know, I've mentioned this previously, you know, every tier list, there's not really, especially in the back end of the 10 honorable mentions, there's no opinion that's finite. Like these guys are definitely fluctuating and can be argued, and honorable mentions, whatever the case, depending on all their factor and scenarios. Frieza, crazy individual, we know this, but he's just getting walled off by Cooler. It's just a fact. You're running Cooler, he has better teams than Frieza. You know, blast-centric lineups, Frieza is not movies. Frieza's a leader slot merchant right now. You know, you could argue powerful opponents, but majority of the powerful opponent tag is just heavy strike oriented. So it's going to just be a wonky setups with Frieza. Of course, he's going to do his thing until you run into a Metal Cooler and then you're just completely ineffective. So utility is just getting like completely walled off right there. Frieza's fine though. So if you guys want to, you know, I know a lot of you have more experience with Frieza being excellent, and I'm not even trying to downplay him. It's just a meta shift in terms of current value. I think aging wise, it's easier to power creep damage and defenses than it is utility. So Frieza will be the better aging character. Is he better in this meta? Frieza's not really making much of a meta impact. You have a unit that's literally walling off the best unit in the game. It's like pretty common sense.
Goku would have to go down further, and then Frieza would go up more. So I'm just saying how on paper it looks as though
this is not even the placement. He's good. He might flip out when he sees how much higher I have Metal Cooler.
You're gonna see why in a second here, but I'm gonna be starting out with
let's go.
number 10 placement. We do have Future Gohan.
Pretty good.
Great
10.
addition to the game. So like
I do say so myself, right? We got a bit of bias. It's pretty good.
Revolves around
10.
So all the support.
The Puddly Boy is 10?
Him, he kind of plays that exact same role, but you know, worse. I don't want to even say it's bad, but yeah.
I mean, he's a
plays
second
that
option
support
pick.
Role, infinite support.
Like,
He's
why
got
would
great
you,
utility,
you know,
great
two
individual
support
as well.
characters? Great, you can make a lot of characters look good, but ideally you just, you know, if you have Android 13, you're going to be running him, and you're not going to be running the double. It's just Future Gohan plays a great secondary support option on lead. Whatever his pure tags as well are pretty relevant as well.
Pull off the offenses if he really needs.
Future Gohan's still pretty good.
Still holding very
That was a
low.
fair
So
spot
once
for
you run
him.
pure Future, it is still
So he doesn't have a, so he has a problem with Future Gohan
Not
10
too
because
many
he's literally
purples,
there.
I would say. So
I don't think he could be much higher if you want to argue like 9, 8 maybe.
But great character, great filler option if you needed the support character.
Exactly.
Because all the
I mean, I get
filler.
why he's not like higher because I think I had him like tied with Name Goku at like 7 or 8 or whatever the hell it was. It wasn't too much further, but 10 sounds just crazy because like there's definitely more 10 candidates that are 10 worthy.
10 candidates. So like if you were to have him out of the 10, I don't think he wants to have him out of the 10. I think he wants to have him higher, which I guess I just personally can't see with what he wants. I mean, if you have Android 13, he's just not, he's second pick on every main tag. You're not having Future Gohan if you have Android 13. It's as simple as that. And in terms of having them honorable, there's plenty of characters for that back end 10 that you can make a little bit of an argument, whether it be the full power Frieza, whether it be the kid Goku, whether it be,
but it's not like he's leagues worse.
he's not leagues worse. It's just a situational thing.
10 is really like, I'm shocked.
It's that type of like content theatrics, exaggerative. Shocked for a character being a second option and still holding a top 10 placement is just for reactionary purposes.
Is this implying Metal Cooler is better than Puddle?
Yes, easily better than Puddle. Are we?
Right.
He is an endurance character that gets absolutely blitzed. Yes, this character does not die in 2 cards, and I'm talking about Metal Cooler. Future Gohan will die pretty quickly to a lot, not only Super Gogeta, but there are plenty of characters that will foderize Future Gohan who doesn't have that guaranteed second life. You just nullify the endurance. So it's not as safety net, definitely more situational, a worser option than Android 13. I thought 10 was absolutely perfect.
GT3 coup. Star gated character for starters. I'm rating all these characters at max, by the way. So,
Has to be. This is one of those options where you absolutely need the stars to validate this placement. So
he's a monster. He just does way too much damage. And with the new green unit,
not like it matters. So like you say above Puddle here, I don't think it would matter if you interchange. It'd be like whatever.
Purple.
Yet again, SG could just victimize him regardless.
SG is going to victimize absolutely every character.
Kemba could victimize this little shit. I understand he's going to be neutral every single time they swap, whatever.
It's true. That is why he's lower on the list here.
Brother, he dies in, he's like IT Goku. He dies in 3. He does great damage when you get him going.
IT Goku's much worse.
The most times you ever fight this unit, if you ever even fucking fight this unit, by the way.
You won't. Not many people are wailing out on GT3Q during the dead seasons, but outside of support, UV4, it's mainly the UV4 situation. You know, UV4 is crazy, and that's just simply one of his best partners. And he's purple unit, can synergize well with you know, the best unit in the game, etc.
He'll be dead within 5 cards. Like,
so not a GT3Q fan, I see. You know, you're not seeing it too often, so people just need a little bit of a reminder. We need those 14-star GT3Qs to come out of the woodworks, put in some work in this current meta, because him, UV4 still make a great duo combination with whatever third.
For what? What did he do? What did he gain?
Combat against and
he's just hovering around this honorable mention area. He's purple, right? Best unit green, purple, blast unit.
partner with. So if we're running this team right here,
this team's horrible. This team's horrible. It's so squishy. This is the whole issue with
It's an all-offensive team, so yeah, it's not
number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a back end 10 team. If you want to have Android 13 on lead, I think that could also be a really great situation if you want a peak performance for UV4. But yeah, the GT3 supports plus the team that allows UV4 to kind of thrive as best as possible is why GT3Q is on the lineup.
Strike base, but him being a range unit, this is the whole problem with him. This team is squishy as shit. You die to everything. If you fight a CMZ, you're dead. You fight an MZ, you're
very
dead.
offensive team. He's not wrong.
UV4, you're dead.
It's not a defensive build for sure.
One combo, life pop. One combo, life pop. It's shit. Frankly, this team is shit. Even with Android 13 here instead of Super Saiyan 3 Goku, it's squishy as fuck.
That GT has taken a hit, so these characters should be lower on the 10. I don't think it's shit to the point where it's unusable, you're leaving the 10, but it's shit in comparison to the top other 10 best teams in the game. It's GT, UV4 thrives best with the GT partner, especially 3Q, which is his best partner. I'm assuming if you're going to have UV4 higher, you're probably leader slot merchanting him like he's probably thinking for the full power Frieza. These characters do not have better teams, gaining the most out of like not having him lead, the Zenkai buffers, support and stuff like that. The teams are just hella wonky if you don't have GT3Q. His best team is with GT3Q.
Gogeta has 0 disrupts winning Gogeta. UV4's card cost upping is not going to do.
He's going to continue to talk about this team. I do agree that this team is one of the best options.
Even there, it's kind of not a lot.
It's good enough. Back end 10 team here. This 3 combination
fit on the teams they're on. UV4's individuality is still, to me, top 3. He's individually, maybe even still number 1.
Crazy. Yeah, I do agree with UV4 being a crazy individual character. So he's going to hold immense value for quite a bit here, especially right now, just being a great individual option. So if you were to cope UV4 and lead slot him, there's not really anything wrong with him, but you're just not getting peak performance for him. And there's just so many better setups without coping him on the lineup. Can exist, he can perform the utility, the details, but he's not as effective and nowhere near close to without being on his main setups. And GT3Q is that character that allows him to be a bit more effective.
But his teams are his flaws. Are his teams such a flaw and, I guess, wishy-washy setting with 13 and Super Gogeta?
Yeah, they are a bit wishy-washy, I can't lie.
I think it's UV4's best, and he definitely can fit on it and definitely do a lot of work.
In UV4 with the best unit in the game and Android 13, I'm sure, yeah, UV4 could definitely cook on there, but just one of those options where 3Q is still able to thrive in this meta. So I'm not sure if this is like UV4, is he still talking about 3Q or UV4 anymore?
Barely above GT3Q, I assume.
It's a situation with the entire meta, so more nitpick in terms of the tier placements here. He's so much better that he's just in a situation above. It's just how it is in this meta. We're closing them in because they are actually great partners with one another. UV4 has fallen back because of the options above him naturally. That's why they're so close together, because GT team is worse. UV4 is less effective. Still great individual. Teams are just worse with him on it. Not GT though. UV4 wants to be on GT. We're going to down. So I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of Metal Cooler downplay on this list. I'm waiting for it here.
I don't perceive it as that. I think UV4 still has such a dominant force within his own individuality, regardless of the team.
It is really crazy. I can't lie. The individual is really good.
6 minimum, and putting him. I know it's just 2 spots, but 6 to 8 is
could have that range between like 5 to 8, 9, something like that, with all of the teams and the better teams in the game. I think me talking about all the best teams in the game, UV4 is not on the best teams with Super Gogeta and Android 13. I think Namek plays a better third role. I think Janemba, CMZ, MZ, all the other options above UV4 because he just feels like a merchant on leader slot. He is just he drops a couple of placements because in this meta, there are just better teams without him on it than there are with him on it. Obviously, you can cope him, and that's why we have 3Q here. He's a great UV4 supporter character. He's there with the bro. He wants to make him look good. So we have 3Q downplay, but UV4 Glaze doesn't make any sense.
8 through 10 is always those wishy-washy spots.
Wishy-washy.
Word today. Those wishy-washy spots where, here's 2 weeks from now, he's not even on the list because he's at the 8 through 10 area. That's always the scary spot. You don't want to be there. And UV4 definitely is not a character that deserves to be there.
It's meta. Meta shifts, teams fluctuate. I don't think deserving has anything to do with anything. He's a great character. We get it. Individual does not play a main factor. It plays a large factor. Obviously, you want characters to be good, but if the teams do not correspond with that, it just doesn't make any sense to have them much higher. The chain cards, very brain dead character, and this is not to even
a wall off, and we're talking Metal Cooler.
Oh, we got metal cooler action here. Where is it? Take care of this character, wall off this character, and eliminate
Wall
this
off,
character
and he's
very
talking
fast.
about metal cooler.
Yes.
Has the endurance
The
nullification
wall
on
character
characters.
does wall off. That
You
is
said
true.
Wall off UV4, then showed me metal cooler in front of my face. A wall off, and we're talking metal cooler.
Theatrics. Theatrics.
Used him with the buff, by the way. I'm not talking out of ignorance here. Trust me, I tried him day 2, day 1, I think, even.
Day 1 against the BR50 new season bots. We should have looked better there.
Definitely not talking out of ignorance here from my end. So I know. I double Zenkai buffed it, I'm pretty sure. Doesn't wall off.
Must be building metal cooler wrong. It's just, that's like a fact, because he does, in fact, that is his main role, actually. He does play the defense role primarily above all his other details that he does do. You know, he's not stacked like a lot of characters on utility. He does have some pretty good health. A restore with Android 13 on the team, so a little bit dependent on that character. Maybe the stars you don't have him at? I don't know. That could be the case. But your metal cooler definitely does wall.
Sorry, Metal Man. Your 55% damage guard buff ain't do jack shit, unfortunately. Wall off UV4 is a fucking insane claim.
Walls off every character in the game. Your metal cooler is walling off yellow units, walling off absolutely everything in this meta. So yeah, I mean, you just got to build your team or your metal cooler better. Specifically, the only thing that will truly bypass metal cooler is if like you got Namek Goku canceling buffs with his blue card, and then you can nuke with the blue card, can try to like kill metal, but max star metal cooler in a lot of scenarios is absolutely walling off the majority of details in this game for the most part. That's just a fact.
He's one of those guys that like might fall.
You just find some like top metal cooler gameplay.
Yes.
It's all of the VODs
Most
have
of
it.
it's will.
It's not the
Super
main
Gogeta does
reason
great
why he's fallen.
damage.
It's
He's amazing
primarily
damage.
a team cause, but yeah, locked behind.
Okay, so I'm
GT.
placing metal cooler here.
Cooler is making
A crazy rags to riches story here. This is the
definitely
best metal cooler has
underwhelming on
ever
initial
been
release.
right
He's
now.
been slowly gaining value with all the PO drops. So first it was 13 final form cooler. We got MZ, CMZ, and there was just plenty of options for him.
He's looking
to see
confused, bro. He
lineups
knows
for
it's
the
true.
Exact same job.
Gained plenty of buffs. And now we have the number one unit in the game that's green. So there's one character that's gonna
in the game that's doing damage as quickly as him. It's just
Okay, where I'm talking about Gogeta here now.
job done like that. He's finishing games very fast, and
He's saying that I'm wrong, that Gogeta isn't killing units faster than any other character. So it's just, before he gets into it, it's a nitpick, right? So you can have MZ, CMZ, any other damage character, snipe, blue card, nuke, whatever the case. There's plenty of characters that can do max damage, but for lesser stars, for you know, the optimal settings, if we're putting bar for bar, right? I'm running at this point, 5-star Gogeta. I compared him on the exact same setup with the same support, the same Zenkai buffers, to my 12-star MZ, and Super Gogeta was clearing, if not doing the same exact damage. So at a 14-star level, yes, his literal numbers are doing greater. He is doing more damage than every other character in the game. So it's a nitpick to say that he's not.
Both my LF Gogeta and my CMZ, because I saw people questioning, you know, Gogeta 4, what? Crazy. I'll talk about Gogeta when we get to Gogeta. I'm just saying, to this point, my CMZ is doing equal, if not more.
It's up
damage
there
than Super
for sure.
Gogeta at the same exact star level.
It's not equal.
Same exact burst potency. Same exact Zenkai buffs. Same exact thing. Every time. Android 13 support, without Android 13. Every single time. Every single thing.
The damage, the
As
numbers do
well
not
as
allow it.
CMZ having extra safety mechanics, after extra gimmicks that he could do.
Super
But
Gogeta does more damage.
mind you, it's only Super Gogeta that's doing that crazy stuff. Whether it be an early or slow fusion that they have in their match, Super Gogeta.
Disagree. I think the pre-state, they're also shredding.
However long you take to fuse, whether it's
Pretty
or
fast.
slow,
Very fast.
is when Gogeta ends up.
But I disagree. I think the
saying,
pre-state still cooks, and they actually have the
equal
defensive
stars to me. I have zero bias
defensive
here.
utility with the disrupt pre-state as well. So I'm hearing a lot of no. That's the issues, like the comparisons with Gogeta and the other top candidates, is that he's very linear, very straightforward. He is the damage / offense only role, and he does have offense utility with his lock-in on the green, sub count lock, vanish restore ability, the endurance nullification and stuff like that. So he does go type neutral, crazy offensive numbers. There's not a unit that comes close to him in damage, but around the same realm, I'm not going to nitpick and be like, yo, these guys are not even close. Sure, MZ, CMZ, they can build up and they can do damage similar for sure.
I cannot have a bias because they are equivalent.
No.
Don't give a fuck about either fusion, hype or not, CMZ or Gogeta. I don't give a fuck about fusions. I just don't care about them as a hype thing. I think, you know, whatever. No. You can even argue UV4 burst just as fast as Gogeta. I can't. My UV4.
We're comparing UV4 burst to Gogeta, and he's not even saying with his peak lineups that don't exist. So, 3Ku, I guess to him does not exist. What UV4 setup that he's talking about is going to do equal to damage as Super Gogeta?
14, but my CMZ to MZ or CMZ to Gogeta
is that he's still a beat stick. He's still got low utility, but okay, we're back to Metal Cooler here. This is what I'm here for, y'all. 13. So if you're running a build like this, 13 and Super Gogeta.
Yeah, so the problem with this team is you have no fucking damage. You're relying on your soul.
No damage with the damage unit on the team. So if we have support units, #1 damage dealer, you can preference where you give your Zenkai buffers if you want your team. I personally have been giving most of it to Metal Cooler because no matter what, with my singular Zenkai buffer, my Super Gogeta is completely out damage mogging everybody. So
unit to damage everything.
Yes, it's just how the roles with the new philosophy does work, where everybody plays a role. So we have the utility support role with 13. We have the wall heal role with Metal Cooler, and we have the raw offensive role with Super Gogeta. And I have not, seen moments where this has been ineffective for me personally.
There are times, because you will not get lucky 24/7, where Gogeta dies. Gogeta died. CMZ sniped them. You got caught on a sidestep. You made a misplay. Dead. You automatically lose.
Yep. If you let your Gogeta die, that sounds like a personal situation. Unless you get unlucky, which is definitely possible. It's just not consistent enough to validate that point, in my opinion. Obviously you get a feint, something like that, and then it just is what it is. You just had your Gogeta out there at the wrong time. You can make a wrong play correct, but if you're talking about plays and, common sense, you're going to have a Gogeta out in a situation where he's going to get killed. It's a personal thing.
This is a 1v3 beyond belief team.
Gogeta does 1v3 things. That is true. Gogeta's damage completely out-diffs every other character in terms of damage. So yes, he is the focus here. And then Metal Cooler, with his buff, I think even on this setup, I've been giving him a bit more focus here. There's going to be a lot of instances where he's actually nuking on his blue card damage. So if you want to make some plays offensively with Metal Cooler, test that out. Take my word for it.
This team does nothing when Gogeta is not active. When Gogeta is not in, you are fucking licking the air.
You are defending here. You're soaking up damage, combos, whatever the case is, rising rush, and then healing it back up.
To do anything. This team is, again, bad. It's bad. The other team's too frail.
This team is bad. One of the best teams in the game currently is bad. One of the best walls in the game to fight against the best unit in the game is bad. Is his opinion. There's nothing wrong with it. It's literally his opinion. So you guys agree with that? Feel free to agree with that. Disagree. I don't know what you want me to say. It's just
the opposite. It has bulk. It has the safety settings. Great. Love that. But you are licking the wall, just waiting for your Gogeta to come back in. MC doesn't have the sub-count manip to make Gogeta come
13
back in
does.
faster. 13 does. Sure, keep 13. Obviously. He should be on the team. MC's licking it. He's just fucking in the air
I'm not sure what he's saying. I don't know how this has any relevance to his placement,
Dying? Wow. I've been dying this whole time. Wait, I'm still dying again?
Staining, eating, healing, walling. Yeah, that's all the same thing. I don't know about dying. Like I said, it's just his Metal Cooler maybe, but mine personally, he does a pretty good defensive role for sure.
Wowee! I'm getting 3-carded by other Synchro Gogetas, and I'm not doing any damage back.
His Metal Cooler is getting 3-carded.
You're never going to use MC. Let's say your sub counts do go down after the combo ends. You start catching them in the combo. MC's hitting them. Your Gogeta's ready, though. All right, MC's not here for damage anymore. You're not going to empty his gauge. You're going to go to Synchro Gogeta. Because you should. But because MC's damage is so shit is why you're doing that. That's the whole point.
It's a bit better. It's a bit better if you have a little bit of focus on him with the Android 13. So it's another reliance kind of deal. I don't think this changes his value, although it is dependent on Android 13. I don't think it's a problem. His damage is fine. As a defensive character that's primary role is to be a defensive unit, his damage has been pretty good with me. Balancing out the equipment options, you could even be running double defense and a singular offensive pure, chilled, the extra health restore. Even Android 13 is missing his E ability, and it almost feels like he's not. We're talking about a max setting here,
you're
so
gonna fucking win every match perfectly. You're lose from time to time.
This could be with any team though.
This team where Gogeta died. Oh my god. You automatically forfeit. You can't win with this team.
It's theatrics. It's exaggeration for the reaction video. That's why I had to make my own reaction video, because if you can't tell that, you know, you don't have an opinion of your own, if you can't realize this is for video theatrics, well, there you go.
Kidding me? The other team he showed, it's more likely to win with.
No, this is easily a better team than the previous teams that I've shown.
Before the clutch, but it's so frail he could die so quickly. This is not good. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is just bad.
I would say the third options, you know, above Metal Cooler that I have here, whether it be the Zamasus, the Namek Goku, even Janemba, you could argue as a better third option, because where you start to get into the offensive, this is a really offense-gated meta, so that's why I even value Metal Cooler even more, because there's not many defensive options in this game, and he plays that role perfectly in most scenarios, right? The only two yellows, Namek, Janemba, to kind of keep check for this guy, or just in general, right, against those characters, right? There's a moment where he does go type neutral defensively as well.
Reliant on subjective play than it is than objectivity of, well, natural things that happen. You're not always going to play perfect. You're going to lose your Gogeta. You're going to get killed over.
Does happen. That is true.
7 perfect spot. And this team, it's horrendous. It really is. It's not good. You need a middle ground character. Middle Cooler he's not a red FC.
No, you don't need.
He's not a fraudulent.
His preference is that he prefers to have 2 offensive carry characters. So this is a more than competent enough setup,
because he's not even close to one. He's shit. He's just shit. That's all he is. He doesn't do anything.
It's stupid. So, you know, this is a team that I've been personally messing with. I don't think he likes Metal Cooler, you guys. I don't think he's going to validate.
He wins with this team, because subjectively,
can somehow survive.
Maybe he just plays better. Great.
First life.
But we're going for
consistency. Consistency in terms of team building and how you have your Metal Cooler built is also very important. So if your Metal Cooler is shit, if he is low stars, if he doesn't have Zenkai buffers, and he doesn't have the correct equipments, correct, your Metal Cooler is probably going to get fodderized. That is true.
Very easily lose this team just with one potential play. One play, you auto lose.
You don't auto lose. He has literally 3 lives.
That's subjective.
How is that subjective when he has 3 lives? Constantly healing with swaps with Android 13, so his first and second lives get stretched out as much as possible in the most instances. So that consistency stays true. There's obviously going to be moments where, you know, you get that neutral or that snipe or get that first kill off Cooler. Guess what? He has a second and third life. So you're wasting your opponent's utility, their rushes, their abilities on his lives, but a lot more than not, he's able to heal those off and have those until late game. So the only problem that I will really foresee with Metal Cooler is you getting unlucky in terms of priorities, or like where it does not allow you to do the necessary damage with Gogeta. So it's just literally preference and not objectivity on his end. First, if you have him below like 7 stars, this is 14-star rating. He is ridiculous at that star tags, right? Saiyans. So we got through Metal Cooler. Let's go. I think Namek 5 was... This is 6, actually. This is 6. I think Namek... CMZ, 3Q, Metal Cooler. He's like one of the units that can easily bypass Metal Cooler if he tried. Because it's the one unit that can bypass it. Like with the cancel buffs and the blue card, that's the only unit that can hit very hard against Metal Cooler in a blink of an eye. We'll obviously have burst characters where like Super Janemba can actually burst through a purple unit, right? Who would have thought, right? AoE green.
Sure, I'm fine with this. I think Namek's fine.
Namek.
Puddle is so fucking low, I'm just lost. Oh,
Puddle is low? Puddle's just a worse version support character, but I'm glad we agree on the middle slot Namek. If anything, I think Namek could actually be argued higher. Like if you wanted to have him 4, maybe 4, 5, 6. I have him at 6, by the way.
Kid Ku not top 10?
Teams in the game right now, so if you
That's crazy.
GT3 Ku's Kid Ku not top 10 is crazy. If he was top 10, he'd be 10, so it's Nitpick. I don't think it's that crazy. I really don't think it's that crazy because he would just be in the back end of the 10. DB Saga has fallen off. The S tier boost does not exist for all his options, and he's just not on any core lineup. You know, I haven't really talked, or we haven't talked. I don't think he's been mentioning anything about Proud Mode. He's probably still pretty relevant there on Saiyan lineups, but just all in all, without the DB Saga, you know, synergy with the equipments and stuff like that, I think he's just comfortably 10, like on the dot 10 or honorable mentions, and hence why I didn't add him onto my 10. I think he's just safety, not... I think you could value other characters above him right now, which is why the top 9, 10 you could interchange with maybe like 11, 12, 13, stuff like that. I would have probably Kid Ku around there. You can do that, or you could... This is one of the best teams in the game, by the way. Yeah, it's really good. No, it's really freaking good. contention for best team in the game right now. So not bad.
The other two teams you showed
is very disgusting. Arguable best team in the game, bro. That guy. And I see people rate him higher right now, which is kind of a bit questionable because this guy exists. Yeah, that's the only thing.
But they're talking about questionable. I see Metal Cooler above UV4. We can't, like, respectfully. This is not the time that we could say.
Metal Cooler above UV4. I just seen an updated tier list for my boy here. This guy literally has free-to-play Namek Goku at 8 on his tier list. Personal preference, will not nitpick. I think top 4 is very solid. Vegeta's I think he's a little bit higher than he probably should be objectively, but still fine individual. I think 5 is like the highest he can be. These guys fine, but free to play Namek, and we're talking about Metal Cooler. There's no card draw speed. He's making like a singular one-hit wonder play a game. If you make one, he's got one play to make a crazy randomized play. It's literally copium placement. This dude's not even breaking my personal top 15-20. Namek Goku just exists.
I think there is a part of this that could be rage bait. Maybe it's like rude to even say that. But
it's this part of the video where I had to talk about Ultra Namek is the actual rage bait.
I think the Metal Cooler gas here is a little bit of rage bait. I don't think it's real.
Bro, what?
I'm like 70%.
What is this Metal Cooler hate?
Like,
what the fuck?
30. That's like this might be rage bait. Like, I've done rage bait list. I've seen rage bait list.
He's seen my list and now he's trying to rage bait. Oh, okay. So he's seen my list and thought it was rage bait, and then he dropped the Ultra Namek list. Okay.
As a red unit.
No, that makes sense actually.
The GOAT's Janimba. So as you guys,
by the way, I think Janimba has that like interchangeable factor with like 4 through 6 kind of deal. So like these are also, no reason to nitpick. I don't think Janimba's much lower than this. I'm just curious.
I do not have
Namek
any
Goku.
copies
of
him.
above.
I have not
it's not
used them. This
that
is
far, but
off what I've seen.
he's new.
For Janimba,
He does his damage. Whatever.
It's tied to Android 13. I know people are not going to be a huge fan of like the requirements for him. It's the same issues with Metal Cooler. It's the same issues with 3Ku. These guys are not performing at their peak performances at lower star ranges.
I don't like him, but whatever.
To give him the benefit of the doubt here, he looks insanely powerful. Everything that he has access to. So like all these different
Reality has to be on par with that team cohesiveness that you're allowed for yourself. And I'm not sure for some of these. Janemba, okay, I can understand it. I'm not hating on Janemba. I dislike the unit. I don't think he works very well, but I do understand he's
very situational. Yeah,
situations where he can.
He's situational for sure.
Potential. I kind of laugh when I fight him, but
it's one of those units where you have to think and play a bit better. Those type of characters get devalued because it's so much easier to use to be perceived as higher. But with like an extra brain cell or two, Janemba is on par with those other characters.
I've seen him at times look competent, which, good enough. The yellows right now, they're kind of all weird. They're not really ever perfect in scenarios. Janemba has more perfect scenarios than most yellows. I'll give him that. And I don't know if he fills that.
I think I'd probably drop him now. Like if I had to make a change here, I'd put him below Namek Goku. I think Namek Goku has a bit more value than Janemba. I think just a better third role there. Like the duo that I think is running the game, Android 13, Super Gogeta, Namek Goku, obviously one of the best teams. I think Janemba isn't, his team on that lineup isn't as great. So Janemba's team, best team is probably going to be CMZ, MZ, 13. 13 has to be on the team. So third would be MZ or CMZ. And wouldn't be the best team in the game, right?
He's easily worse than them all. It's not close how bad he is compared to them all. But everyone below, we're Namek Goku, Metal Cooler, whatever, UV4's team.
It was crazy is that I could even make the argument for Metal Cooler up here. So it's absurd, man. I wouldn't put him past Namek Goku, but you probably still be close to the Janemba level, considering these are 2 Stargate characters. They just play different roles, right? In competition with all of these other damage roles, and he's inferior in comparison to them, right? So he's on par, barely, without 13, no, that's why he's lower on the list. But Metal Cooler is the #1 defensive option role. 7, like fair, kind of agreeable opinion. He's just like shutting it down. There's no relevance for Metal Cooler in the meta where there's a top green burst damage dealer.
It's not good. Use him better. You have to play smarter. He requires skill.
That's what I just said with Janemba. He requires proper use, correct? We can meme skill, but yeah, you should probably play better with certain characters. They're not as brain dead. So yeah, I do agree that Janemba's not as brain dead as Gogeta.
Anything requires skill, it's not good. It's not valid. It's not.
MZ, CMZ, this powerful opponent setup. If you wanted to replace one for the supported, he's 13. Needs.
He doesn't have 13.
The best with 13, and every character is the best with 13. You know, they're not controlling the game right now, but the top 4 characters are easily.
Seems
the
like
best
like
4
we
characters.
agree with like some of these middle roles. We should agree. So like after we get through the slander on some of these, so let's see. Can we agree here? Like he's gonna give me that face for this too?
Zamasu.
What are we talking about?
Crazy field control.
What is he looking at?
Allows the rush to not happen to him.
Bro, is he
so
gonna
fast,
nitpick
but
every
I believe,
spot?
Super Gogeta, funny enough, is able to bypass that.
True.
And yeah, he just
And
plays
he does.
a great counter to Super Gogeta as well. He's got a lot of healing.
It's purple.
potential.
He's
The
plays a
best
pretty good role
teams,
against the best
everything that
unit.
I've
Plays a
played,
good
they'll play
protection
this,
role,
like,
but he's a little bit vulnerable, a little squishy character. So a unit like CMZ can make amazing, like pretty much the arguments he was saying before. You make one mistake and your unit's dead. CMZ suffers from that exact fate, the same way as Gogeta does. He's not like crazy defensive, but he's an uber offense unit. You make one sidestep, Namek Goku blue cards you, probably dead. I think MZ and CMZ might be interchangeable as well. So like if you have these guys, you have 3-4, make the argument for either or, but both underneath the top 2 meta controllers, which probably be the duo of Super Gogeta and 13.
Next to each other because that's where I have it. I have merged Zamasu at.
I this already. I'll re-say it here.
Let's go.
This is how I perceive these units, the top 4 right now. So you got 13. His role is supporter and safety because revival, and he's supporting because he supports. That's his kit. So 2 roles, right? 2 roles. You have MZ, the role of damage and defense, and even to a degree, a half degree, a disrupt. So that's 2 roles.
Crazy utility, yeah.
CMZ, damage again, as well as a safety role within a similar vibe to the man of Android 13. Great. So 2 roles again.
Safety with the gauge is not entirely true because it's easier to bypass. Like very easy to make misplays with CMZ, and like we just said previously, Gogeta does bypass it. There are plenty of characters that bypasses.
What do you see in Super? He doesn't support. He has no support.
Oh, so we're about to get into some Super Gogeta slander. I was like, wait, what are we doing here? That's what I wasn't sure
What do you
about.
see in Super Gogeta besides his great damage?
It's great damage. His damage is higher than these characters in the game right now. So it's not like he doesn't have any utility whatsoever. It's just primarily focused on the offense, which is why he has his team to cover him for other aspects. So his team preference is having 2 characters that kind of are a bit more rounded out, and you know, he can make more mistakes potentially with. Preference team having a role for each of your things, I don't think is like an objective. Like they're both successful different lineups. In the best scenario, Gogeta is still the greatest damage dealer.
On roll. Is he overwhelming so much?
Yes, he is that overwhelming. Gogeta can easily lock and neutral and burst and do more damage for less than these characters. That is a fact. Usually, utility is valued over damage, right? Like we have a character like Namek Goku with absolutely no utility whatsoever, and that's just unacceptable. His units do not deserve to exist in a meta like this. They have no utility. Look at Metal Cooler, right? One thing I've not said, he has immunities. He has immunities to fucking paralyze, bro. Like it's a crazy value right there when we're considering both Zamasu's, have plays against that. Like,
No, he's not. I would know. Again, the equal stars of my CMZ. I would know. Trust me. I would say
he would know.
He was. Again, I don't give a fuck about Fusion Warriors. I have no bias with or against them. But
he has bias against Metal Cooler, though. Biases. Like everybody that makes tier lists. I know it's not GOAT specifically. I'm just going to say this. But most people have biases towards the characters and the teams they use. So they will always come up with a way to argue their units in the top meta of the tier list. So it's my job as a tier list creator, as a take maker, to see the objectivity of all these teams, despite you playing worse, what units are capable of doing. I just leave everything out. Team that I ran Metal Cooler, Gogeta 13, he's saying you have to play, you be a better player, whatever. If you're playing worse, that is literally a personal issue. It's a team that exists and that is and can have a great consistent win rate.
So when he has that equivalency to 1-to-1 for 2 characters,
it's not a 1v1 game, it's a 3v3 game. So in a 1v1 scenario, I mean, anything can happen.
and those other 2 characters have extra roles. Given, you could say CMZ's is a little bit more wishy-washy.
It's very theatrical, very nitpick here. All 4 of these units are in the same realm of overall value. So he's trying to argue, I think, that CMZ and MZ are above the 13 and Gogeta.
Within MZ,
when 13 is literally on every single team, and then Gogeta is the strongest unit, literally the strongest unit in terms of damage, at least. And it's not like he doesn't have any utility, because he absolutely does. The strongest, and it's the unit that can consistently clean. And I understand the overallness of these characters, and that's completely fine. But Gogeta can make quicker work of everybody than these characters can. It's not to say that they can't. It's just nitpicking.
Card because he has it on the plat, or Super Gogeta Rush.
So like from
There's a way to
here,
usurp it. I've never had an impact within Super Gogeta.
so we're hating on Super
Existing
Gogeta. So it's not about disrupt. It's just team preferences there. So I have Metal Cooler on my team for a reason. You could also slap, you know, any of these characters on a team with Super Gogeta as well. I don't know if we knew that or not, but Android 13 is the only requirement. So whether you wanted to have CMZ or USCMZ to fulfill those roles that he is talking about, they do exist on his Super Gogeta's lineup. I think there's an argument individually where this guy overall might be better than who I'm going to have at the number one. Overall, in terms of like an overall outlook on the game, it's clear as day that CMZ has some of the best rounded outness that we've seen. Great damage, great defense potential, great disrupt, and great utility. Gogeta, numbers, damage is king currently, and the king of damage in this game is Super Gogeta. This is how I place it right here. Most valuable character in the game.
He's saying
it's an opinion at the end of the day. So let's see the finite and official stamped opinion that I need to download after this. Let me lock it in, you guys.
They share teams. You would run MZ with Gogeta.
They share teams. All of these units share teams.
What? Okay.
Team has. Why is he so confused? Many lower. Like I can maybe see 3, but it's not right. Android 13 is easily the most valuable. It's like, I don't even think that this is one of my solidified, can't argue the take with me for Android 13.
I'm not going to disagree with 13 being super valuable.
There we go.
Obviously, I know that. You know that. We all know that.
Exactly.
It's just...
So if he knows this, right, and he's 2, then it's just a nitpick. There is not really much of a validated reason over a preference. So it's not, you know,
of this character,
it's a bit more
really
exaggerative.
Like, he's Jesus. You would think
Android 13 makes all the teams the best.
As hard as CMZ and MZ, the way people talk about how he helps the team so much. This unit hits for shit. He does.
It's a team build issue. And he's not meant to be the damage dealer. He has his role.
So he has flaws. He has negatives to him. Utility of
support unit on the team. He's pretty good.
Defensive. This guy is.
You don't even give him any focus. You don't give him a Zenkai buffer. You give him a missing Z ability, and he's still performing great.
On this fucking list, can victim. Maybe Metal Cooler can't because Metal Cooler's fucking dog shit. He shouldn't be here. But everyone can victimize him.
I think this is like the least objective. Like he's really just slandering Metal Cooler on this list for theatrics. And then I guess you could go as far as to say 3Q has the argument to be in and out here. The 10s always do, so it's not concrete. But I'm assuming his list is not much different. We were just looking at it right here. So we take a look at his list. It is MZ, so top 4 is the same. He's just preferencing these top 2, which is completely fine. I think that opinion is validated. This is not horrible. The middle line is he has Future Gohan low. So he was, you know, complaining about Future Gohan top 10. He has Future Gohan top 9. Frieza had literally on an honorable mention 11 roll. The entire reaction video is a nitpick. Pretty much exact list. So before you guys like lose your shit, the entire list basically is Metal Cooler because he didn't include Metal Cooler on this list. Right, I just want to hear what he's got. He's got like a fucking 10 minutes left. Like, what he's discussing here.
He has 2 roles, a safety and support. You are just done. You shouldn't even be playing if you don't have him. That's just not real. If you can't run him, you are just done. You shouldn't even be playing.
Just because you don't have Android 13 doesn't mean you can have bad teams. It's just 13 makes his teams the best. That's a really easy concept to understand, that with 13 teams are better. Without 13, you have more rounded out overall teams. All these units can be ran together without 13. They're just not in their best.
The reliance on him, I get what he does. I use him a lot.
Necessity does not equal a unit that pushes all these other units to their peak.
You can't win. That just doesn't make sense. MVP, Puddle, overtly positive when he really is like an 8 out of 10, maybe a 9 out of 10. People talk like he's like a 9.9 out of 10. That's not it.
As my MZ, who is almost 14 stars. So keep that in mind. Imagine this guy, 14 stars from what I've seen is literally in 1 to 2 cards existing before the fest again. And now it's just very difficult to have him.
You're right. You watch it be top 10.
One mistake and
you're
victimized
by Gogeta.
Getting
endurance
1 and 2 carded by Super Gogeta.
All the endurance units.
So, this is the current list.
But to be fair, everyone's victimized by it. Gogeta. Just MUIs, it takes 1 card. He literally takes 1 card and he's dead. So let's get into the Super Gogeta final rant here.
Does Red MZ even fucking have a flaw? Like, realistically, I don't think so.
I don't think it needs a flaw, really.
When he's fused. That's great. We're talking about Super Gogeta.
So this is a great point. So it's team preference. Team preference. So his MZ plays his overall rounded role, where I have 3 different character roles. Metal Cooler plays that defensive role for me, for that team. So yes, you could also have MZ in a position with Gogeta as well. These are literally team preference roles. It doesn't really matter, I think, all that much. That's why I don't really care to nitpick his top 4 placements, because I can understand and see where he's coming from for the overallness. I can make that argument for number 1, but to not have Metal Cooler as a validated even option or a consideration, or does he even have him honorable mentions? Like,
he's talking about Super Gogeta the entire time, not fusing into him, not
his better disrupt pre the fusion. His damage is still competent. There's a lot of great things pre-fusion, but yes, once you fuse, you have all that offensive utility to your disposal.
prior. Super Gogeta. The biggest flaw and a very impactful thing that Red MZ and CMZ don't have is they have a disrupt. The gauge, 50% proc. The gauge, 50% proc. Both are disrupts.
Have your disrupt all day. I'm cleaning the streets with Super Gogeta. I'm walling off all the other details and healing it back with Metal Cooler and 13.
Both are disrupt. Both units have, and they happen.
And then even if I slapped MZ with Gogeta, you're doing the same exact thing. So guess what? I would disrupt with MZ with Super Gogeta on the team.
Very consistently.
There's no character that's cleaning faster than Super Gogeta.
CMZ's reproxes every entry. Red MZ's gonna... If you catch CMZ in a 1v1, right, you might not kill him because of disrupt. You catch Red, I mean, shit to me. The top 10 is all that matters.
So he doesn't care about honorable mentions. He doesn't care about the interchangeables here. This is finite. This is the official. Yo, you guys enjoyed the reaction. This is the only correct opinion, by the way. If you disagree with it, you're basically dumb. Metal Cooler is ass. 13 or 3Q does not even exist. He's not even a character that exists in the game. Top 4 is not even debatable. Yo, shout out my boy Dugoat though. Everyone's validate to their opinion, so that's value right there. I just thought I'd give a reaction, give you guys my takes on it. This is still my, if I were to change anything, it would dead ass be nitpicks like this. It wouldn't even be deal breakers. It'd be swap the MZ CMZ, still leave it like this. It looks perfectly fine for me. Swap Janemba Namek, Metal's completely fine. Everything looks fine. I won't even change this tier list personally at all. My personal take. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know your takes in the comment section below. But yo, the official opinion is ready to download, man. Lock into my boy Dugoat. Shout out the king. Let's go.